Hey everyone, I wanted to go ahead and start up another discussion regarding the upcoming Monster Hunter Rise collaboration that we're set to get this month, pretty much directly connected to the Sonic 30th anniversary event. Remember that after the 5th Capcom collaboration that we got with Ghosts and Goblins, where we got the layered armor for Arthur into Monster Hunter Rise, which remember was directly connected to the Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection collaboration, we know that now we're going to be able to get that Sonic collaboration in the upcoming weeks. And basically we don't necessarily know what to expect, and Capcom has pretty much set up a little bit of a formula, let's say, as to what could it potentially actually be based off of the previous collaborations. But because it is not a Capcom collaboration and it is in fact one with Sega, perhaps they're going to try to do a little bit something different, and that's kind of what I'll go over as best as possible. Remember that previous collaborations basically provided us with Palamute, either Palamute, Palico, or Hunter skins, layered armor if you will, for each one of those, or different versions or iterations of those based on either collaboration. But going forward, I think it would be a little bit just boring and kind of just like kind of meh, and like hoping that we can do better. They can certainly do better if we end up getting something more stylish or something more different. Remember that in the past, previous Sonic collaborations provided us with Palico layered skins, essentially, where the Palico was looking kind of like Sonic. So I don't think they're necessarily going to do that again. Neither one of the collaborations that they've done recently have been kind of like carbon copies of anything they've done in the past. Even the Street Fighter one that we got a layered armor for Akuma, for your Hunter, where before they had given us stuff with like Chun-Li, layered armor for your Palico, and I believe a Blanco one as well. So they didn't even do the same characters. They definitely went a different route. So I'm kind of hoping that this time around we get something a little bit more different, and we just don't get another Palico skin or a Palamute skin. That would just be boring. So perhaps I'm actually thinking that they do something related to maybe a monster hunt itself, where you get some sort of monster that is just available in the Sonic universe and the Sonic world. Remember that they've done things like that with previous Monster Hunter games, where they're providing you a version of a monster that is only available for that very specific event, and they look kind of like something that's been available in that very specific franchise. I know a couple of months back, I went over some collaboration with the Monster Hunter mobile game that they have available in Japan and Asia, and they did some things with like Magnamalo that is like a robotic version of it in a collaboration with another franchise. So it's not the typical Magnamalo that you're going to be fighting. It is simply a robotic version of Magnamalo, which was really, visually interesting nonetheless. So maybe, the Doctor from Sonic essentially does something that you get a robotic version of Magnamalo here in Monster Hunter Rise. That would be great. Perhaps they're not willing to go to those lengths and do a completely new visual overhaul for one of the monsters just for one very specific event. Remember that this event is also presumably going to be one of the first events we're also going to be seeing on the PC release as well. So this is most likely one of the reasons why we haven't necessarily seen collaborations of anything Nintendo related when it comes to Monster Hunter Rise, because Nintendo's not going to want any one of their characters available on a PC. That's just something that they're not necessarily going to be able to do or allow Capcom to go ahead and do. So if you're still hoping for like a Zelda skin or anything along those lines, a sword or the shield, I don't think that's actually going to happen, because Nintendo wouldn't necessarily allow Capcom to go ahead and put those assets into the PC version of the game. They would just want that on the Switch, and I don't think Capcom is going to go ahead and put in the work to just make it available on the Switch itself, which is why we're getting a lot of Capcom collaborations and going forward, presumably some with other companies. So if maybe a specific event with a monster is not something that they're willing to do, perhaps they're willing to do something where we get maybe a weapon type or a specific weapon skin that is just a layered skin essentially on one of the weapons that looks like something that's reminiscent from the Sonic universe. Perhaps that would be a little bit subdued, and it makes it seem like it's not necessarily a big deal. But think about it this way: what if they provide us with like Sonic looking rings, those golden rings that he collects? Essentially they're like chakram weapons. So the dual bladed weapons that we have already in the game, they just make golden rings that are essentially just chakrams available directly as a layered weapon skin. So you would typically just have a Blade Master weapon that looks like 2 golden rings that you're fighting, but they're essentially just the daggers. Same hitboxes, nothing necessarily changes. But you just have something a little bit better and a little bit more different. Maybe not better, but certainly different than just a boring layered skin, you know, for one of your Palicos, Palamutes, or your Hunter himself. I think they certainly wouldn't go the Hunter route and make your Hunter look like Sonic. That would just be awful. That would just be something that I would expect Ninjala to do, you know, but not necessarily Monster Hunter Rise. I don't think they're going to go that route. And then for gunners, we can get some type of cannon. You know, that's some sort of weapon that's available from the Doctor himself in the Sonic universe. That is just, you know, some cannon-related thing that we've seen in plenty of other Sonic games. So they can definitely provide us with maybe 2 or even 3 weapon types that, you know, or weapon skins, I should say, that are just going to be available in the game for everyone to be able to go ahead and get one version of those or something along those lines. And, you know, be at peace with that. Remember that the goddess Palamute skin that we got, Okami herself, she had 2 different weapon types, and you had the option to switch between severed and blunted types, and basically that would change the way that it looked. So that's something one way or another that we can actually get a version type of, and pretty much just change the way that they actually look ultimately at the end of the day. I'm just hoping that they do something a little bit better and more interesting, and again, just different. I'm just hoping for different. That is not the same boring Palamute and or Palico and or Hunter skin. I think that would just be something that it would be off-putting at the end of the day, because again, it is based off of the Sonic universe, which it wouldn't necessarily fit the visual style of the game. It would feel very much like the Rush layered skin for the Palamute. It just doesn't necessarily fit. I don't like it. There's nothing appealing about it. I talked about that multiple times already. So doing something with Sonic that is very much in the same vein, I think it would just be completely off-putting. But I would definitely love to hear your guys' feedback on this as to what exactly are you hoping to see with this upcoming Sonic collaboration. With, remember, we should be able to see a trailer for this, or, you know, something drop, maybe even a leak or something along those lines within the next week or 2. Definitely within the next maybe 10 days at most. And then presumably the official reveal would be following right after. So we haven't necessarily seen it yet. Hopefully, maybe, you know, right after this video goes up, we end up seeing it. I'm hoping for that. And also remember that the 6.5, or I'm sorry, 3.6 update is actually going to be going up as well. I'm not sure where I got 6.5 from. The 3.6 update should be able to go up as well, pretty much following that collaboration announcement as well. So would we actually expect any sort of real differences other than, you know, more bug fixes and quality of life improvements? Yeah, not really. That's just pretty much what we're going to expect. We shouldn't be expecting any sort of like new monsters or anything along those lines. Would they actually do a collaboration reveal with the PC release on the Switch or something like that, where they actually put something new on the PC build and then they tout it as a, you know, collaboration event for the Nintendo Switch? That would be fascinating to see if they actually go that route. But that would most likely be a December collaboration event and have nothing necessarily to do with November. But that's about all I wanted to discuss today with you guys. I definitely want to hear some feedback. And if you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.